Hey guys, Carl from Purple Plays. Today's going to be a bit of an interesting one. Recently I posted my playthrough review video of At the Helm from designer Ted Heidersdorf and publisher Button Shy Games. And at the end of that video I said that there were a few expansions for the game and that I was somewhat interested in the expansions. And then somebody left a comment on YouTube saying they really hoped that I would also cover the expansions. So I reached out to the publisher and lucky enough I was able to get review copies of those expansions as well. So disclaimer here, I did get review copies of this game from the publisher, but as always I will offer my own opinions at the end of the game and I will try to be as unbiased as possible. With all that said, let's head down to the table to see how the expansion changes up the game, and then I'll meet you back up here to let you know what I think. For this playthrough I will be playing with both expansions, so let me go ahead and show you how to set up the game with both expansions included. As with the base game, we're going to begin by shuffling up our sort of goal cards. I like to flip them over randomly as we shuffle to choose 3. So for this playthrough, we will be playing with the Giant Squid, the Storm, and Discover Island. And I'll explain what all of those are as soon as we get into playthrough. Next, we're going to place out our Captain card over here. And we'll take our 5 starting cards marked with that compass rose, give those a shuffle, and I'm going to set them down here in the bottom corner of the screen. Now the rest of the setup is going to change now that we've got the expansion in. We're going to take the rest of the market cards from the base game and shuffle in the rest of the market cards from the expansion. So the Lazarette expansion is going to include 6 different marketplace cards. Let me walk you through what those are real quick just so you can see them. We've got Fresh Fruit, which is going to double my health but reduce progress on a challenge by 2. We've got a Raincoat that lets me place on the Captain card and protects my health while it's there, but next time we shuffle our discard pile it goes away. Forever, it's trashed. The Compass, which is going to add a sail for every broken heart in the corner of the cards in my hand. The Spinnaker, which is going to add 2 sails, but 3 sails if I have a lot of health. The Dynamite, which adds 2 attack, will add actually 4 attack if we have the nautical charts in the hand with it. But if it's ever in the hand with rum, we're going to explode. So basically we're going to trash the top card of our deck. And the Shotgun, which reveals the next 4 cards or up to the next 4 cards in the deck, and every plus symbol that I see on those cards will count as 1 attack. But then those cards that were revealed get discarded, and everything else gets shuffled back in. So basically it's going to be a big attack, but it's going to sort of make the game progression or the game timer run faster. So we'll shuffle those in with the base cards. Also in the Port Amalga expansion, we do have a special card which I'm going to show you in a minute. But with that special card, we do have 2 more market that we're going to put into this deck, and those are the Pipe and the Dinghy. The Pipe is going to be worth 2 cards at a location, and that's what the other card is that I'll explain in just a second. And the Dinghy is the only card that I have that's going to allow me to take an action at that port. So you'll see in a minute, if this doesn't come out naturally in the market, I'm going to fudge things a little bit to make sure that that card is in play so that you can get the best idea of how the expansion works. Because if I don't ever get that card into my hand, you won't ever get to see what the new expansion piece adds. So I want to make sure you get to see that in the video. But we're going to shuffle all of those together. We'll make a market of 8 cards as normal. And the rest of those cards are going to be placed face up here as a sort of extra stockpile of cards called the Shipyard pile. So let's go ahead and do that. And now as I lay these out, I said that if the Dinghy doesn't come out, I'm going to swap the Dinghy in for whatever the last card is that I've placed out. There's the Pipe, and there's the Dynamite. So I am going to pull the Dinghy out, and like I said, I'm going to swap that in for the last card just so that it's active in the game so you get a chance to see what the new expansion is adding. And then next to this Shipyard pile, I'm also going to place this other new card from the Port Amalga expansion, which is Port Amalga itself. That is a location. And that means if I have this Dinghy card, I can activate the location, and this location is going to let me do one of 2 things. Either I can place a card, any of the cards in my hand that I didn't play, onto this card, and later I can discard cards from this to receive wild resources based on the number of cards I'm discarding. So if I discard 1 from here, I'll get 3 wild resources. If I discard 2, I'll get 5 wild resources. And if I discard 3, I get 7 wild resources. So we're going to set that over here as a sort of extra spot that we can play on during our game. And then to start gameplay, before we start gameplay, I should look at what we need to do. Discover Island I'm completing with 10 sails. The giant squid I have to defeat with 9 attacks. But if I play more than 1 attack or more than 1 sail on any turn, I'm going to take 1 damage from the squid. And the storm is going to make things really hard for me because the storm says all cards do damage. You know what? I'm going to fudge things just for this playthrough because I don't see a lot of health in this tableau and I'm not going to be able to buy a lot of stuff out of here. I will explain how that works in a minute, but I'm going to flip that over. That's too tricky for this playthrough. I just want you to see how the game works and I don't want it to be basically unwinnable right now for me. So we're going to get the Sea Serpent instead, which is also pretty tricky. I need to beat it with 7 pairs of sails and attack where I've got sails and attack here. And if I hit it with a harpoon, it hurts me back. But that's fine. Now, the other new thing I said from this expansion set is the shipyard. And the shipyard is something that I can use to buy cards as I like to directly from the shipyard, which is nice because that expands my deck without advancing the timer of the normal market. But it's going to cost me 2 coins to buy a card from that pile. I can also pay 1 gold and discard a card from my hand into the shipyard. So that's a good way for me to cull a card that I don't have any use for later on in the game. Or to cull a card that does a lot of damage on me if I'm getting very low in health and I want to make sure I don't die later in the game. All right, so to start the game, we're going to draw 3 cards. And as you see, I've got 1 bad heart here, so I do go down to 6 health. And I don't want to play more than 1 attack or more than 1 sail on a turn unless I can do some real damage to the squid. But I think I'm going to play the rum to heal back to 7. And I will play the sail, the jib, to advance Discover Island up 1. We draw back to 3, a fish, and a harpoon, which does 1 damage to me. Now, if I use the harpoon on the squid, I do damage to the squid, and it doesn't hurt me because it's only 1, and I'm not using it on the Sea Serpent. And then I might as well heal myself 1 more just because I can. And now we're going to take 1 card from the tableau. I'd like to get you some idea of how the location works. I don't know if I'm going to use this card. But I have coins. Hold on, I can buy that later. Let me take something I actually need. The shotgun is cool. The revolver is doing a lot of damage to me. Yeah. Let me take because I like the sails for stuff later too. Let me take the revolver. We shuffle that up. And I take 2 more cards, which you can see now are the jib and the revolver, which gives me 1 damage. And then I am going to use my coin to buy the dinghy, just so I can sort of show you how that's going to start working. And I'm going to play the jib to... No, I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to play the revolver to shoot the giant squid twice. 1, 2. But that's actually going to hurt me twice. He's going to hit me for playing more than 1 attack. And the revolver itself is going to hurt me. That may have been a mistake, but we'll see what happens. I take another card. Ouch. Yeah, I need to be careful now. Okay, I've got a harpoon. I'm going to harpoon the squid because I don't want to use the harpoon on the Sea Serpent if possible right now. And I pause there. I will take the rum. Good. I'm going to use the rum to trash the nautical charts and get myself 3 health back to 6. I draw another card, which is the fish. All right. I need to Yeah, I'm going to use that sail to advance this one up. And I might as well heal myself back to full. The next card we add in will be compass gets me sails, which I need. This gets me 2 sails or 3 sails, which is great if I use it with the shotgun. But I don't have the shotgun or the revolver. Yeah, you know what? No, because I want to get to the pipe. The pipe's going to get me lots of stuff at the port later on. So let me take the compass. Give that a shuffle. And then we draw 2 more cards, which is a harpoon and a fish, gets me 1 damage. That's okay. And I'm going to use the harpoon against the squid. I don't really need the fish in my hand, so I might as well heal up. I take the jib, which does a damage, and the rum. I will play... Yeah, I'm going to play the jib to move this up 1. And I don't really care about the rum at the moment. I'm not doing too much damage. I'm going to use the dinghy just so I can show you how it works. And I'm going to play the rum on Port Amalga. And then I got to draw 3 cards because I did that. I get 1 damage from the compass down to 5. Then I don't need the pearls. The compass does sails, but right now it's just a single sail. The revolver does 2 damage, but hurts me. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm going to shoot the squid for 2. It does a damage to me to 4. And then I'm going to use the compass to do 1 sail against Discovery Island. And then, shotgun's nice to have, because it'll do some damage. That spinnaker, yeah, I'm going to take the shotgun, because this is going to hurt me. Actually, these should have slid down. The pipe would be really nice to have, though. Yeah, I'm taking the pipe. Even if it's going to hurt me, I'm taking the pipe. We'll shuffle those up. And we get a compass, which does a damage to me, and a revolver, which is safe for now. Now, I really wish I had the second coin, but the second coin is in here, because the second coin would let me buy the first aid, which would heal me real well right now, but that's not going to work. I can use that for a sail. You know what? No, I'm just going to discard the revolver for no use and draw 1 more card. Ooh, which does a damage. So I'm down to 2, which is not good. But now this compass is worth 2 sails because I have 2 hearts. The problem is if I use more than 1 sail, that squid's going to beat me up. Means I'm just going to play a single sail to move that forward 1. We'll draw another card. Ooh, here's my dinghy. All right, I don't need these pearls right now at all. The compass is, yeah, all right, let's do this. We're going to play the dinghy to put the pearls here, and I'll play the compass to advance this 1 more. We draw back to 3. There's 1 heart, 2 hearts. And that's the game. I don't get to show you how that works. I was hoping that the next round I would have used the dinghy to get a bunch of stuff out of here. But realistically, what I should have done is use the dinghy to get 3 hearts and advanced my health. So you know what? Let me do that. We're going to reset as if we had done that. So instead of playing the pearls to there, let's say we used the dinghy and discarded the rum, which gets me 3 something, and I'll use that to get 3, 4, 5. That way you can see how the game continues playing. And then I will play that compass as I did to do what I did. And that way nothing's changed except there's nothing in the port and we can continue playing. All right, then we draw 2 more cards. Fish and the harpoon, which does do 1 damage to me, but that's okay. I'm going to play the fish to heal back 1. And I'm going to play the harpoon to hit the squid for 1. We draw one card, which is the pipe and does 1 damage. And I'm going to add something. I don't want to add more damage, so we're going to add the shotgun. I need to hit that sea serpent with a big hit real soon, or we're going to be in trouble. My third card is some rum. Then, none of that means anything to me except I'm going to use the rum to heal. And then I'm going to draw a card, which is the jib and does 1 damage. I will spend the jib to advance on that Discover Island. I take one more card as the compass and does 1 damage. Now if I play that, I did 2 compass, but the squid's going to really mess me up. That's a shame. All right, I'm going to get rid of the pearls for right now because they're not helping me. I draw one more as the shotgun. So I'm going to reveal up to 4 cards, do damage for each plus that I see. I really just want to get 1 plus to kill the squid so that it stops that stupid attack. The dinghy doesn't do anything. All right, the revolver has 1 plus. So that revolver gets discarded. I kill the squid. This dinghy gets shuffled back in to that little deck. I draw 1 card, which is a fish. Then I'm going to play the fish to heal to 4. The compass I play now has 2 sails because I have 2 hearts there. So this goes up to 9. I draw 2 cards, my dinghy and my harpoon, which does 1 damage to me. Now, I don't want to use the harpoon against the sea serpent because it's going to hurt me. So I'm going to play the dinghy, and I'm going to place the pipe and the harpoon into my port. And that is the round means. Sorry, that shotgun should have been discarded, so that's in my discard. I'm going to draw the fresh fruit because it does no damage. Although having the sails at this point would be not a bad thing to do. But we'll see what happens. I draw 3 cards, 1 damage. We're down to 2. I'm going to play the rum to heal back to 3. That's it. Draw the next card, the fish. I play the fish to heal back to 4, and that's still it. Compass hurts me. Yeah, but I don't have any attack to hit the serpent, and I don't want to do this because these are going to get me an odd number of resources. And this needs pairs. So my 1 extra is going to be that island. So I'm just going to get rid of the pearls to draw a card, which is the revolver. Yeah, I'm scared because this is going to hurt me. But I'm going to play the revolver for 2 attack with the compass, which is equal to 2 sail. So that's 2 attack and 2 sail. Hits the sea serpent for 2, but does 1 damage. I got to draw 2 cards. Shotgun is safe, and fruit is safe. I could use the fruit to go back to 4 health, but then I have to go backwards on something. And I only have 1 more round after this, so I'm scared to go backwards. So I'm just going to get rid of the fruit to take a card because I know it's the dinghy. And then I'm going to play the dinghy to discard 2 cards from here. But remember, that pipe is worth 2, so that's 3 cards. Gets me 7 things. So 7, I'm going to use 4 sails and 3 attack. So 3 and 3 gets me 3. Here goes up to 5. And the other one is finishing off Discover Island. We add this into the deck and we shuffle. So all I need to do is hit the sea serpent 2 more times, means 2 more attack and 2 more sails. I need to add 1 card to my hand, which is a fish, yay. Because that means I can heal up to 3. I have a shotgun, and I have a jib. I'm going to play the... No, because I got to draw a card anyway. All right, I'm at rum. I am going to... Yes, I need to heal just to make sure I'm safe. One more card. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to play the shotgun, and I'm going to play the jib. That's a sail, and this I just need one attack because it's got to be a pair for that. So if I draw the first card... Ooh, there's a plus. There's actually 2 pluses. That's 2 attack. But I only have 1 sail. So that combination gets me 1 attack on the sea serpent. Then I draw 2 more cards, the revolver and the compass. The compass does 1 damage. Ah, okay. Compass is equal to 1 sail now because we have 1 damage. The revolver is 2 attack, but does 1 damage against me. But that's okay because I have 3 health. So I'm going to play the compass for a sail and the revolver for 2 attack. I take 1 damage, but I've defeated the sea serpent. So I managed to win the game. Now, granted, I did back up once in the middle of play, but I wanted you to see the game play out more. I did make a stupid mistake in the middle of the game, so realistically, I lost this game. But with that mulligan, I have successfully defeated the giant squid and the sea serpent and discovered the island. Now, I'm not really going to take a look at the components because the components are just more cards, mostly just more marketplace items. I've shown them all to you at the start of this playthrough. Again, I really do love the artwork on the marketplace cards specifically, so I'm happy with the artwork on all of these cards. This port card right here, again, it fits that same cool nautical artwork theme of all of the marketplace cards, so I also really enjoy the way that this card looks. But that's it for components. Meet me back up top and I'll let you know what I think about the 2 expansions. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. This one I'm going to do a little bit differently because I have already reviewed the base game. If you want to click the link above, it will take you over to that video to see how I feel about the base game. But long story short, I did really enjoy the base game, and I was very, very surprised and very pleasantly, happy to see how much was actually done with so few cards in this game. But I did wonder with such a small amount of cards that the game might eventually get stale, and I did suggest that maybe it would be nice to have new market cards or even to have new goal cards. Well, we don't have any new goal cards here, but we do have 2 new expansions. The first expansion, Lazarette, does just bring 6 new market cards to the game. So first, let's talk about that. Again, this doesn't change up the way the game plays in any way, so if you like the original game, you're going to like the game with Lazarette included. And what this does is it just brings in fresh new ways to attack the goals that are given in the base game. You've got new items that let you do different things, that let you sort of approach these puzzles in different ways, right? You've got that coat that can protect you from harm, but that coat can also cause 2 harm every time it comes up, and it does go away every time you refresh the deck. You've got weapons like the shotgun that are going to allow you to do more damage against things, but also churn through the cards a little bit more, right? You've got that dynamite that also does lots of damage, but if you happen to have it in your hand with the rum, boom, you lose something completely from the game. So you add in these different changes and different things that, again, allow you to address the problems that already exist in the game in different and unique and new ways. Plus, by adding in this variability, the interplay of the cards is going to change up because you're not always starting with the same 8 cards in the marketplace. It also adds this idea of the shipyard, which I really do like because the shipyard costs 2 coins. And you saw in this game I didn't use it because I never got another card that gave me coins, and I never used the rum as coins, though I could have. When you use that shipyard, though, it's allowing you to add cards into your hand, which means you don't get hurt when you take them, just like when you take from the marketplace. But it also means now that you're adding cards into your hand without removing cards from the marketplace. And remember, the marketplace is basically your timer through the game. So by not removing cards from the marketplace, but inflating your deck by adding new cards into your deck, you're extending the length of each round, thereby extending the length of the game without shortening the game by removing cards from the marketplace. And that changing of the timing and changing of the length of gameplay before the puzzle is required to be done is a really, really cool thing to have added to the game. Now you've got the other game, right, Port Amalga, which adds this location card. And this is really cool because now you've got this ability. It does take an item that you do have to have in your deck, and you do have to play that card to do it, but you've got this ability to sort of store cards to then pull out later to trigger a big wave of wild resource that you can spend in any way that you'd like to. And this is really cool for a couple reasons. One, it can store cards that have lots of damage dealing effect, right? To prevent you from taking damage while you're sort of waiting for something to happen, and then you can sort of trigger those off to start taking care of your end game goals. But also, later in the game, depending on which goals you have and depending on which resources you need to have, you may have a bunch of resources in your cards and the cards in your hand that you've been using to finish this goal. And now once the goal's finished, you've got all these cards in your hand that don't do anything anymore because the other goals require different resources. Well, now you've got something to do with them because you can start putting them off to the side in this port, getting rid of them out of your deck so you can do other things with your deck, but then ultimately using them as well to then trigger other goals that they normally wouldn't have been able to be used to do. So I really, really like the idea that this Port Amalga is throwing in there. But I do want to say one, not negative, but word of warning. You saw in my playthrough that I intentionally set up the deck so that I had that dinghy card, so that I could activate the location. I will tell you that you may or may not want to play with both of these expansions mixed together all of the time. Because when you mix the extra 6 cards into the marketplace from the other expansion on top of the 2 cards from this expansion, what that means is the odds of you getting that dinghy or even the pipe just gives you double, so if you don't get that, that's fine. But the odds of you getting the dinghy, which is the only card in all of these decks that will ever allow you to activate the location, at least so far with the cards that have been released, means that if I don't have that dinghy card, I can't use the location and it's just sitting there doing nothing. Now, of course, I could use 2 coins to buy it from the shipyard, of course, but again, if I don't have a coin and I don't have the dinghy, the chances of me getting that dinghy or getting that coin to get that dinghy and add it to my hand so that I can interact with that location is lower and lower and lower. And what that means is the cool piece of that expansion sort of gets diminished a little bit if you mix in the other expansion. Now, that doesn't mean, like I said, that it's completely broken because you can always buy it from the shipyard, and that is just an additional 1 coin. So as long as you plan well and you sort of pay attention to what's going on, it's not a deal breaker. I just want to make sure that you understand it might be more fun to play with these separately than to play with them together, at least some of the time. You don't want to have them completely mixed all of the time together because of the way that they interact with each other. In any case, I'm a big fan of both of what these 2 expansions are adding. The shipyard is really cool. This port location is really cool. And then, of course, the ability just to have new cards in the marketplace and to have a fresh, different combination of cards in the marketplace every time you play the game is well worth it. If you like At the Helm, I definitely recommend that you grab these 2 expansions. Button Shy expansions are pretty cheap anyway, so it's more content for a game that you know you already enjoy. Why not? One more thing, just looking at what I've seen so far, I do expect if this game continues doing well, more expansions might come out because they've introduced the idea now of a location card, and I'd love to see what else they can do, what other kinds of locations they can add to the game that might be triggered with that dinghy card. And also, again, I'd still love to see some new goals that come out that might tie to other marketplace cards that also get added to the game, but I'd love to see some more end game sort of challenges added to the game as well. This is a fun game, and I think the more this game gets expanded, the more variation or variability gets added to this game, the more this game is going to shine. I'm a fan. Definitely check it out if you're interested. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon below, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.